Where I see the problem, especially in this sustainability space today, don't mind me being frank, is sometimes we overstretch some of our corporates to do more than what they can do. I think it's to find that sweet spot between technical expertise and how can best contribute.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Howie from Corporate Development Team. Thank you so much for joining for us at this podcast. We're shooting from the Impact event at MBS this year. And right now we have a very interesting guest with us. It's En Yeow from our sustainability team. En Yeow, maybe just introduce yourself and what you do at NCS.
Hi everyone, I'm En Yeow. I am a sustainability manager in NCS. So what I do in NCS, I help with the sustainability reporting, and I also have a new portfolio, which is to look at youth and tech programs.
That sounds very exciting. I do know that NCS has just released your very first sustainability report. Could you tell us a little bit about it and what are the highlights?
So just to put in context, it's not that NCS is not doing any good work. I think NCS is doing a lot of really good work, especially as part of larger Singtel group reporting. But and some additional context is that I used to be from Singtel and I'm thoroughly familiar with whatever that NCS does. And looking at it from the third party before I joined NCS, I realized that NCS has been doing a lot of good work, but it just hasn't been articulated. The narrative hasn't been there. So that's where I thought the potential of us, NCS producing a sustainability progress report makes sense. So in this report, first and foremost, we go back to our purpose, which is advancing our communities. So if you read the report, you'll see a lot of case studies of the good work they do for the public sector. I think there was a case study on SCDF My Response app, as well as what we're doing with MOM to enhance the contact centers, as well as doing an app with the National Gallery Singapore on helping to improve engagement with museum visitors. So I think all these are really, really impactful work that NCS is doing. But what we also recognize is that there's more that we can do, and that's why I understand NCS launched the Sustainability Pledge last year. The report also covers our progress in this two aspects. First, in terms of climate, how we have reduced our carbon footprint, and also on the community, in particular, how we're empowering youth.
That sounds very exciting. So it's a bit of capturing all the good work they've done that across climate and community, capturing the narrative.
Yes,
and
correct.
The type of projects that's involved.
Correct. And I think first and foremost, and how all this is linked back to the purpose of NCS, which is to advance communities.
That's great. You mentioned youth in tech. I think that's an area that is very exciting. Could you flesh out for us what do you mean by youth in tech and some of the thinking behind it?
So this is something I'm personally quite interested in. So some background about myself. I used to be from the social service sector. I spent 5 years there. And part of how I started my career is actually to do program evaluation for children and youth program. So I'm quite familiar with the youth space. And one of the reasons actually why I made the pivot to social impact space about 5 years ago, I saw the potential for corporates to do more, and especially when they leverage their technical expertise. And that's exactly, I think, what NCS can do, because when I look at the sector, I think the youth definitely need some help and support. But at the same time, what can NCS provide to the youth sector? And that's where it's interesting, because I think NCS as a technology services partner, in my opinion, they do have many practice and capabilities, and that gives the youth a good exposure to the different tech opportunities, which they probably don't get it from other tech partners. And that's how I think NCS could potentially come in to support youth in a very unique way and give them a very good overview of all the tech opportunities and how they can realize their ambitions.
That's cool. So in a way where as youth craft the future and replan the world we're in, the use of technology is going to play a big part, and that's where NCS could then be helpful, could bring in some of the expertise as well.
Yes, and definitely that's the case. And as I was talking to some youth also, I think there's also a lot of concern about the tech industry market is drying up, and there's a lot of uncertainty of how whether they can pivot into the tech industry even though they don't have any tech background. So I think it's really helpful for these youth who want to explore. And I think also more importantly, also how we can influence youths to use tech for good. I think maybe that's something that, as NCS colleagues in their field, working with the public sector, they can also influence the youth to show that, there's a possibility that not just use tech to, to earn more money, but, how can they, help governments, help, enterprises to use tech responsibly.
No, that makes a lot of sense. The NCS superpower is in technology, and youth, if they are able to use some of the technology for good, I think it just augurs well for all of us.
Yes.
So maybe the last question as a wrap up, as you think about the aspirations, I mean, you're obviously a young person yourself. As you think about aspirations moving forward, what would you like to see evolving? Because obviously there's concerns around climate, there's opportunities around community. But as you think about what would you like to see, could you maybe share with us in a perfect state, what do you think would be awesome to see in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think it'll be similar to what the NCS Sustainability Pledge encapsulates. So if you do read the report, it talks about the honeycomb, and it's designed a honeycomb because everyone has a part to play. And I do believe that every single person, whether it's a corporate or it's a staff or even the member of the public, they all have a unique role. And that's where I think it's important for each one to find their unique role and contribute meaningfully to it. Where I see the problem, especially in this sustainability space today, and don't mind me being frank, is sometimes we overstretch, some of our corporates to do more than what they can do. I think it's to find that sweet spot between what I mentioned, their technical expertise and how can best contribute. And then I think that's where you'll fit well with everyone. And same with the youth. So whenever I talk to them, there's this sense that there must be ownership, there must be value. And if you can convince them that this is your unique contribution, I think they will want to play a part, in a better and more sustainable future.
I think that's a great way to wrap in a good summary, because everyone does play a part. Corporates play a part, the youth play a part, and the larger ecosystems play a part. So thank you very much. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. It's a great conversation with En Yeow on sustainability. And I do hope that we will continue to see great progress with NCS Sustainability and En Yeow and the team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Howie.
Right.